So, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to try it, and let's hope it works out for the best. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but hopefully this will work out great, and it won't be a disaster. Yikes. Take one. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and thanks so much for taking a minute out of your day to stop by and see what I am doing on my crafting journey. So this channel is going to be mostly geared towards knitting and crocheting, since those are the two crafts that I primarily do. And yeah, I thought it'd be cool to start a channel because I love watching so many other podcasts, both audio and video. And yeah, I guess we're at the point in all of this mess where I thought it would be dope to start a channel of my own. It's been something that I kind of been thinking about for a little while, and so now I'm finally getting around to doing it. I guess a little bit about me before we get started. I am coming to you from Chicago, Illinois, and my 9 to 5 is working in the arts, primarily in dance, and that's sort of where the beginning of my crafting journey started. So I was in a ballet company, and I noticed about 13 years ago that one of my friends, my really good friends actually, was sitting on the side, during a big production. We had a lot of downtime, and he was knitting something for his wife. And so I went to him and I was like, hey, that's really dope. Like, do you think if I went out and bought the supplies or whatever, you'd be able to teach me how to do that? And he was like, yeah, sure. Just like go get this stuff and come back and I'll show you like what you need to learn. And so that's kind of where everything began for me. It was really cool in the beginning. I was making a lot of gifts for other people, hence the name Piece4Peace. So I was making a piece for giving it away as like a peace offering, if that makes sense. And then shortly after, I would say about 5 years maybe, of just knitting, and it was like basic stuff, so like hats, scarves, maybe a couple baby blankets. Another two of my other really good friends that I worked with, were crocheting something, like on a break or something that we were having, and I went to them, same thing, and I was like, hey, you all have been knitting for a while, this looks really cool what you guys are doing, like I think I want to add something to the mix of what it is that I am just like crafting. And so I already had yarn, and they told me what hooks to go out and buy, and so I went and did that, and they sat down and were very patient with me and taught me a couple, or the basic stitches, and I don't know, maybe like a week or two later, they were like, okay, here's a pattern, we're gonna teach you how to read it, and you're gonna help us make this baby blanket. So kind of diving in, kind of head first, with just like creating and crafting. I think coming from sort of an artistic arts background, it's a little bit easier for me to sort of be hands-on and see how things are made, since moving around and stuff was like the world that I come from. Yeah, so it was just a natural fit. So once I learned how to crochet, I sort of stopped knitting kind of for a little bit, and then it wasn't until about maybe 2 years ago, a coworker of mine brought in a scarf that one of her friends made in college, and she was like, hey, this is like kind of falling apart, do you think you could make me something sort of like it. And she was like, I figured you'd be able to like tell if it was knit or crocheted. And it was a knit scarf, like a infinity scarf. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so I took it home, and it was kind of exciting for me, at least, because I hadn't knit anything in a while. And so I got to whip out my needles and some yarn that she had told me what color she wanted. And yeah, it sort of ignited my need to want to dive back into that again. So that was probably about 2 years ago. So when I was crocheting for a big chunk of time, I would only ever knit every now and then. But now that I've gotten back into it, it's like all I want to do. And so I switched. Now I'm knitting more and not crocheting as much, but I still love them both equally. Yeah, I think that's enough about me. Obviously, everyone will get to know me a little bit more the more episodes I do. So let's get into maybe a couple recent makes that I've made. Since the beginning of the year, I sort of had two goals coming into 2020 about what I wanted to do craft knit-wise, and that was I wanted to learn how to knit a sweater, and I wanted to learn how to brioche. And yeah, I got to tackle both of those this year. So the first thing in brioche, this was sort of earlier, maybe end of March, beginning of April. I saw a pattern. Here, I'll grab it. So full disclosure, this is going to be a little bit of Stephen West Parade, but I saw this pattern for the Starflanket, and I was like, oh, that blanket's so cool. Like, I've never knit like a full-size blanket for like an adult. I've only ever done like things for babies or little toddlers and stuff, and I thought it was really cool that like it incorporated a lot of different things that I hadn't done before. So at the beginning of being stuck at home and not being able to go outside, I decided, see if I can get some of this in the camera, that I would do the Starflanket. So it's folded. Here's half of it, and it has these really dope stripes that come all the way along, and then it goes into this really boss brioche section here. And so I had some people, when I posted it on my Instagram, say like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like your first brioche project was such a big project. And for me, it was kind of like, well, if I'm gonna learn this, since the rows were so long, it just I was able to have a lot of practice while doing it. And so, yes, the rows were long, but it ended up being a really great tool for me to learn this new skill, and I really love it. So all the yarn that's in here was all from my stash. Like, I just had it lying around. It's all 100% acrylic, which I think is really dope, because then I can throw it in the wash if I need to. I don't have to worry about, you know, taking care of it, but not taking like too much care of it. And it's all Caron Simply Soft. I don't remember the colors because half of the things didn't have ball bands on them anymore. But yeah, I love this thing. Now that it's getting cooler here in the Midwest, because we're entering fall, it's been really nice in the evenings to sort of like nestle up underneath it and yeah, just hang out with it, since I'd completed it sort of in the spring, and then in the summer it was just like sitting on a chair in my apartment. The next thing, so since I learned brioche doing that, one of the things that I had seen in the West Knits Best Knits book, so my friends during this time chipped in and surprise gifted me the set of 3 West Knits Best Knits. So this is the 3rd volume, and it's the Shawl Evolution book. And one of the things, I've made a couple things in this so far, and one of the things I was really excited to make was the Tree Fern, which is this really dope shawl with these big sort of brioche sections in them. And like having the book is really cool because the pictures are so vibrant and beautiful, and yes, so many things in it are really actually stunning, and I'm hoping to work my way through most of the book. So, yeah, I ended up doing that. So here's that. So this is my tree fern. I'm gonna cover my face for a minute. Yeah, so it has these really cool big brioche sections on the sides, and it's quite large, which is great. And it has really awesome drape to it. The yarn I used for this was actually from a thing called Fibershare that I did earlier in the year. So if you don't know, Fibershare is this really cool thing. It's like a yarn sharing sort of mystery, I guess, but not, thing where you sign up on the website, Fibershare, and they partner you with two people. One person you're gonna send a package to, and the other person you're gonna get a package from. And it's so awesome. I think this is my 4th time doing it, actually. And my partner this round had sent me the 2 colors, and I don't know off the top of my head what they are, but I'll be sure to look them up, and I will put them in the little drop-down box below, and you can click on it and see where I got the yarn from. So she sent me a couple skeins, and I really fell in love with them, and as soon as I opened the package, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make the tree fern with this. This is gonna be really dope. But I knew I didn't have enough yardage, so I went online and I searched out where I could get more of what she had sent me, where I could find more of it. And so I immediately ordered it and then got right on that, and I absolutely love it. I haven't had a chance yet to like wear it out in public, but I'm hoping that now that it's getting cold, I'll have a chance to, which would be really awesome. Yeah, I love the colors, and it's so squishy and soft because the yarn's amazing, and brioche is super squishy and nice to do. The last sort of more recent FO that I have is, I'm calling it an FO even though the ends aren't woven in yet, but it just got done drying from me sort of laying it out and blocking it last week. So this is the bubble sweater, also by Stephen West, and this was in Cascade 220 is the main color, and then the top color is called Salted Caramel, and this is from Murky Depths. I'll show you a tag for that for her shop soon, but the Cascade I just bought maybe from Webs or something, and I wasn't really sold on the color at first, but then once because buying yarn online sometimes is difficult, but once the yarn arrived and I put it next to the Salted Caramel color, I was like, oh no, this is going to be really awesome. And then once I finally started knitting them up and seeing how the bubbles came together, yeah, absolutely loved it. So this is my 3rd sweater. Again, I said I wanted to learn how to knit a sweater this year, and yeah, I've made 3 so far, which I think is kind of a big accomplishment for me. Yeah, now that it's getting cool out, I'm super excited to like start wearing them, even though I don't have any place to go since most of us are working from home. But just being out and about on the weekends, socially distancing, hanging out with friends and things like that, or the people that are in my bubble. Yeah, I'm excited to like rock that a little bit. All right, cool. So I have 2 WIPs that I'm currently working on that I love to show. the first one is, it's in actually a project bag that I made. I was just playing around. I don't really know how to sew, but I had some ladies in our costume shop help me with a couple questions that I had. And yeah, I took an old, these used to be pants. Why I thought buying pants with seagulls on them from the thrift store and rocking those for a little bit was a good idea. I don't know, but I did. Anyway, so this is the For Fox's Sake sweater. Try to find the front. I think this is the front. By Maxim Sear. And there's a little bit of puckering, but when I tried it on, it did stretch out some, which is really awesome. So that's good, and I'm hoping that the rest of it blocks out. And this is all out of Knit Picks yarn that they sent over to me so that I could try out. And let me get the colors for you. I do have one of the ball bands for that. So this is in their Gloss DK, which is really, really, really dope. I've never used it before, and so I was excited to try it. And it's 70-30, so 70% merino and 30% silk. And I'm using 4 colors. They're kind of a mess right now. So the bottom color is Hawk, which is like this darker gray. The main color is Navy. The second contrast color was Robot, and the 4th contrast color was Masala. So kind of an orangey, fallish color. Like I said, the yarn's really cool. It like is a dream to work with. I'm loving the fabric that it's making. I do still have the sleeves to do on this. And just like the bubble sweater that I made, that was my first time doing sleeves 2 at a time, which was something I'd never done before, and I was like, oh, I bet this is going to be really hard. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like that, but it was really easy. It ended up being a lot of fun, and I'm not one that has like second sleeve or second sock syndrome. Like, once I finish one, I'm just like immediately cast it on, start going. Yeah, get it done. It's fine. But doing them 2 at a time was like, once it was done, and I was like, oh, that's it? Okay, cool. Like, I don't have to go back and pick up stitches again and like start going through, and yeah. It made the experience like go a lot faster, and well, I guess faster is sort of relative. But it just, to me, made the process seem a lot easier. So I'm super excited to hopefully finish that soon. The next thing I have is living in this bag that I got from the Bearded Purl, which they have a podcast on YouTube, Caleb and Justin. And here's their little tag. This bag is really dope. When I saw them put these up, I was like, that yellow is poppin'. Yellow and gray, forever. I live for it. So this bag is housing my Moving Forward wrap, and that is by Denise Byron of Byron Handmade. She is currently hosting a knit along for this wrap, and I made one earlier in the year for my sister, also out of Murky Depths, and out of her yarn. And I knew, since the knit along was starting, that I would probably want to make it again because I enjoyed making it so much before. And so this time I'm using, here I can get to it. I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts, and they're on their Spotlight base, and that is 80% BFL, 20% nylon, and Copper Cloud. So it's the Leading Men Fiber Arts, and it's blowing out, hold up, in the Copper Cloud colorway. And yeah, so this is where I am on this shawl. It's quite long right now, actually. Hopefully I can drape it over and it won't. It's a wrap that's done in different sections. So you get these beautiful garter ridges that break up sort of this like lacier section, and then you get some fun little stripes and some eyelets. And I really love, how it works up. And having done it once before, it's been really cool to work on it again because it just sort of like, it's in my head now. Yes, I still have to look at the pattern, but it just flows so much better because I know what to expect. It's not like I'm looking at the pattern for the first time. And I think the knit along for that goes until the second week of October, so I think there's one more week of that. It's been really great making this again. Denise is awesome, and she has been hosting weekly Zoom meetings for people, so like just meetups where no matter where you are in the pattern, people can get together and talk about the process or share, the yarn that they've chosen, why they chose that yarn, and just like where they are in the process. It's a really neat to see so much community building since we can't all get together at this time to like sit and create together. So that's been really enjoyable. The last thing I want to show is sort of an acquisition, but with purpose, I guess. I'm not really one to just like buy things randomly. I mean, I do every now and then, but I like to like get things with like a project in mind. Otherwise, like I know it'll just like sit forever and I won't do anything with it. So tomorrow, so by the time this gets uploaded, it will have probably already been released, but the Stephen West Mystery Make-Along starts. Now, I've never done a Mystery Make-Along before, so when I saw it go up this year, I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready. I'm going to try it, just see how it goes. Let's see what happens. So I picked my colors. Again, I'm using all Murky Depths yarn, Murky Depths Dye Works yarn, and I will show them to you now. So the main color, it's 5 skeins. My main color is this awesomeness here called Butte, I believe. And it's got a bunch of different colors in it. So a little bit of gray, some browns, this like beautiful blue color. So this is my main. Oh, and the makeup of this it's a 40-40-20. So it's 40% llama, 40% merino, and 20% nylon. Now, I've never worked with llama and merino together, and so I was really interested in that because I thought it just sounded really cool, and I couldn't be more happier just by the feel of how it feels already. So this is my main color. Then for my contrast color 1, I'm using cornflower, which that's pretty true, which is this beautiful blue. Then my second color is coralite, which it's looking a little more red there. That's probably better. It's super bright. I'm living for it. And then my last color is this dark walnut. So these will be the 3 contrast colors that will go with the 2 main colors. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I know it starts tomorrow, which means that tonight I will be staying up a little bit to get these caked up so that when the first clue comes out, I am ready to cast on. Hopefully, I may, depending on when it comes out, I'll check my email when I wake up before work and get that cast on if it's out then, and if not, then I'll just wait till the end of the day and cast that on. But I'm super excited about it and excited to just like see what a mystery knit along is all about. So I think that's it for me for this episode. Like I said earlier, this is episode 1. I just want to take everyone along on my own crafting journey. If you've enjoyed what you've watched, feel free to do all that fun YouTube stuff. Subscribe, like, ring the bell. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Piece4, like the number 4, PeaceCrafting. And I'm on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. And I think that's it. Feel free to leave a comment. Constructive criticism is welcome. And yeah, I hope to chat with all of you soon. And until next time, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.